Hello everyone, welcome back to my live stream. Tonight, this is part 3 of our coffee project. We actually are at this point. Now I know this is much more done than it was last night. I know how long it takes for decoupage to dry, and I wanted you to see a little bit more of a final project by the end of tonight. So I decoupaged most of it. I did leave a good section to do with us tonight, just so that way you could see how it's done if you don't know how to decoupage. Yes, it looks like a hot mess right now. It's got all kinds of colors and everything in it, but it is much more sturdy, and the colors won't matter. We're going to paint it, so the colors won't matter at all. So we're going to get started with the decoupaging. All right. And if you're not familiar with that, all it is, Mod Podge. Hey, Lydia. Mod Podge and tissue paper. I cut my tissue paper up sometimes when I'm working on a project, especially like when I was doing the inside pieces. I will just tear them off. It doesn't matter. It's going to have a really cool texture to it, and when we paint it, you'll see why that matters. But if you want to do big sheets, you can do big sheets. If you don't, you don't have to. The deal is you take the Mod Podge and you just paint a layer on. Doesn't have to be a thick layer. As a matter of fact, if you're doing cardboard, you don't want a thick layer, because then the cardboard will get too wet and it'll start folding under. All right. Hey, Erin. How are you ladies tonight? Did you guys have a good day? I am I'm still dealing with the stupid weather system that came through, but much better than I was the last 2 nights. And I got to see my 10th graders and my 9th graders today, and they're funny people, so I enjoy teaching them, believe it or not. Like I said, it's so weird for me to say that I enjoy teaching 9th graders, because they've been the bane of my existence my whole career. But these kids are pretty cool. I enjoy them. My 10th graders, they crack me up. They crack me up. We've been doing serial podcast, and it's like they're playing their own game of Clue, trying to figure out if this kid did it or not. Oh no! Aaron, does he get the migraines along with the weather system too? And Lydia, you've been traveling, so of course you slept pretty late. I would be sleeping in too if I had been traveling. Traveling takes something out of you. Again, this is no rhyme or reason to this. It is just like, put it on there. The best method I have found is, instead of like wiping it, because the tissue paper can tear, the best method is to just kind of get some Mod Podge in there and dab it. You're going to dab down the edges, and if you've done enough underneath, it'll catch the underneath really well. If you have an edge like these that aren't wanting to stick when you dab them, then just kind of flick them out and it'll work just the same. Yes, Aaron, that is the truth right there. Stress will make them even worse. So will anxiety. I've been trying to tell everybody during this pandemic, like, people ask me, they're like, oh, you must be doing so much better since you can be at home teaching. Yes and no. I'm so stressed out that they're going to make me go back that I keep getting sick. So stress, yeah, like stress is a big deal when you have migraines. And when you're worried, man, it just makes everything 10 times worse. It feels like, at least. Lydia, I would be sad too. My grandfather grew up in West Virginia, and when I was 13, he took me to go see where he grew up. And we went to, he grew up in a holler of a mountain. And so we went to the holler of the mountain. And I can tell you this, I absolutely adore mountains. I absolutely adore mountains. That and ocean, like the mountains and the ocean. Is there a place where I can have both? Hawaii. Let's all move to Hawaii. How about that? Aaron, are you down for moving to Hawaii? Let's go. Let's go. Where did my... It's like, where in the world did my tissue paper go? Oh, that sounded like I was about to say, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Oh, that ages me right there. I used to watch that on PBS. On PBS. Again, it doesn't matter what color I'm using. We are going to be painting over it anyways. I do want smaller strips though, so I'm just going to tear them. Now, if you are doing this technique to something other than what you're going to paint over, like there are some times where I will take, and I think I have it right here. No, it's right here. I had thought about taking this and putting it on the back side of the shelf. So that way you kind of see this behind the alcohol inks. I decided not to, for one reason only, and it was going to be a pain in my butt. And I don't want to do it. So if I was to do this, though, then it mattered. I would have to be very careful and cut around the skulls and place them very carefully and things like that. That's why I said it was going to be a pain in my butt. And I'm not about that life on a Tuesday. If the week is already going to mount up to be enough, I do not need to give myself more work. Oh my goodness. Aaron, I'm with you. Let's move to Alaska. I'm good. I'm good with that. I might be cold and have to learn how to adapt to the cold weather, but oh, every time I see pictures of Alaska, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful, and I have always wanted to see the Northern Lights. Like, and I've been told you can see them there. I have always wanted to see the Northern Lights. And I think my kids have wanted to see the Northern Lights since Brother Bear. Do y'all remember that movie? Oh, goodness. So I'm with you. Aaron, we're going to move to Alaska. All right. Got to get my husband on board with this. He doesn't like the cold. All right. Just going to have to figure a way to insulate him. Oh, that's right. You got much older siblings, so you get the reference. Sort of like my brother Cody. I know he gets the reference. Because he's 19, y'all. I got a 19-year-old brother. What is my life? Is this? Lydia, of course that's your favorite movie. I knew it. I knew that had to be your favorite movie. Y'all, anybody can guess? Okay, we know, because you guys have had me in class, you know I'm not a Disney princess fan. I'm not a Disney movie fan. I think that it sets girls up to be housewives and not have a mind of their own and blah, 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 right? So, new Disney movies, I know you're trying, okay? But old Disney movies, that's not the business, all right? But, you know I'm not a Disney fan, but Who do you think is my favorite Disney villain? I do have a favorite Disney villain. Okay, Aaron. Aaron's. We now know who let the dogs out. It's Aaron. So wrong. Just the cheesiest person in the world. All right. Lydia, can you think of my favorite villain? It's a pretty easy one when you think about it. It really is a really easy one when you think about it. Oh, yay, Aaron! So you're still able to see me. Cool beans. Cool beans. And you can let the dog out. All right, since nobody seems to have guessed it, my favorite Disney villain is Maleficent. Right? Come on. She can turn into a dragon. Oh. For those that have not had me in class, and you're wondering why does she not do Disney movies, like I said, I felt like Disney movies would teach my daughters to expect a man for their happiness, and I didn't want my daughters to depend on a man for their own happiness. I wanted them to create their own happiness. I wanted them to be their own happiness. So I tried my best to teach my daughters that. And I also did my best to show my daughters that I was going to do the things that made me happy. And if people didn't like them, that's fine. They didn't have to like them. It was just my life. Yes. You know, one of my favorite spooky movies, Aaron, is from Disney. It's a spooky movie, and nowadays you guys would probably Something Wicked This Way Comes is one of my favorite spooky movies. And then there was another one, I think it was like Whisper in the Woods or something like that. I can't remember. I just remember the point of view of the camera like freaked me out. Like freaked me out entirely. Like 7 or 8 years old. Your mom set you up to be a spooky lady. I believe this. I believe this. I blame my spookiness on my mother too. But your mom likes spooky too. So I'm almost done with this part. And then I'm going to do a quick dry of this with my heat gun, just so that way we can go on to the next step. And again, like I wasn't in any way, shape, fashion, or form being specific with this. All right. So I've got that done. Now we can go on to the fun stuff once I get this dried. Y'all, I like making funny faces. I remember that last year or the year before, there was a kid that would come down my hallway. He wasn't in my class or anything like that. But we just had this thing where on his way to sixth period, I'd make a funny face at him and he'd make a funny face back. Later on, I found out that he looked forward to that because when I got sick and was out a few days, he asked me where I was. I'm not even his teacher, but he enjoyed those funny faces. So I'll make funny faces and make people smile. I don't care. All right. This isn't going to be completely dry, and that's fine. That's fine. It's just got to be somewhat dry so I can flip it over. And here's the plan. The plan is I'm going to do a base coat in black. And then I'm going to choose a color changing color to do a dry brush. All right. But the first things first is I need to do a base coat of black. Are you afraid of the dark? Erin, it's been forever since I've seen that show. I was an older kid when I think the first run came out. When the first run came out, I think I was an older kid. But I can't remember, to be honest with you. I just remember it. You know, back then, Nickelodeon, I don't know, I haven't seen Nickelodeon in a while, so I don't know what they do anymore for kids. But back then, their programming for kids was just spot on. Spot on. All right, so here's my method of doing this, and I don't know if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, but I have a habit, I guess you would say, of always doing the inside of the box first and all the corners and crevices that are going to be a pain in my batukas, because I'd rather do the hard stuff first. I'd rather end on the easy stuff. And this out here is easy. It also gives me the opportunity to let the back dry fully before I get there. So this is the plan, is I'm just going in and, as you can see, painting the back of it. I have ordered some more resin because I know the idea that was brought up last night was to coat it with resin. I have bought some resin, and I might coat it, but I have not completely made up my mind yet. I'm stingy when it comes to my resin. I really am, because it is expensive, and I'd rather make things like this from my resin, you know, and I don't want to have to cover something with resin. I don't know. Is that weird? Is that weird that I think that way? It's like, I'd rather make those kinds of things than cover this. And that's just, it's still a project, right? It's still a project. Pete and Pete. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Pete and Pete. I remember that one. And like the small one was like the grumpy one, if I remember right. There was a taller one and a smaller one. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot about that. There was a camp show on Nickelodeon, Salute Your Shorts. Something like that. Oh, I remember that one. Thank you, Erin. I'm hoping it'll turn out super cute, because I have like a purplish blue color shift paint, and I'm thinking that would be really cute, because when I dry brush it on, the wrinkles that are all in this tissue paper are going to be picked up by that color shift. I'm hoping it looks like a little crackled finish. If it doesn't look like that, then I know how to force a crackle, and I'll end up forcing a crackle. And if I end up forcing a crackle, I will do a video on how I'm going to do that. But I'm really excited, and I think that this is going to turn out really, really well without having to force a crackle. Okay. You know, painting something in the little tiny parts, that is, like I said, that is the pain. That is the most aggravating part of it, because you're trying to like twist your hands to get into the corners, and it is what it is, right? Stop complaining and just do it. All right, I got it. So guys, I fell into the trend and I tried the tortilla wrap hack, whatever it was called. It's delicious. It's delicious. Try it. It's beautiful. I did it. I did 2. So no, I've done 3 so far. I've done a no, I've done 4 actually. Yeah, I've done 4. Okay, so the first night I had ham, cheese, garlic spread, and more cheese, because that's a good sandwich to me. And I did that, and it was yummy. And then I also did cream cheese, blackberry jam, peanut butter. And I did that one. Drooling is so good. So good. And then today I did a peanut butter, marshmallow, and chocolate wrap. And that was also delectable. Delectable. No, it wasn't a dinosaur tortilla. No, it wasn't. Because I don't have the blade for that. I'm gonna get a blade and a cutting mat that's just for cutting out dinosaur tortillas. Oh my gosh. Now, don't play, because I have a granddaughter now. And if my granddaughter came over and said, "Scare Mom, I want a dinosaur tortilla," the baby would have a dinosaur tortilla. I don't care. I'd go find the blade I need. Baby would have a dinosaur tortilla. Baby wants one, baby gets one. Oh my goodness. See, and here's the other thing with painting everything black. I have really bad eyesight in dark spaces. Really bad eyesight in dark spaces. And everything's black right now, and I have to turn it into the light in order to see if I missed anything. Like, is it painted? Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now that it's getting painted and it's looking a little more uniform, it's really starting to look cute. It's looking like a finished product. Almost. Not quite yet. It's got a little bit, but it's really coming together. And I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, Erin, laugh away, but if my grandbaby wanted something, she gets it. She gets it. I was talking to my husband the other day, and it's funny because when the kids were growing up, they're all home and we have to take care of them 24/7, and that means we were spending money left and right because kids are expensive. And we did our best to do fun things with them, but now that we have no kids at home, we can afford more. And so we were talking about, like, when COVID's over, we can afford to take the baby, the grandbaby, to an aquarium and to the zoo, and not even, get her some souvenirs. And now I realize why my grandparents could do all that. It's like, now it makes sense. It is a good combo. The black with the teal is a good combo. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay. But the teal is one of my favorite colors, Erin. I enjoy this and purple. Teal and purple. And I don't even mind those two together. Like, and that's a thing, because I'm not a fan of a lot of color combination. I'm pretty monochromatic if I can get away with it. I'm not a super colorful person. Now, I like black and dark colors. That's about it. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's so cute. I'm so excited. I am. Okay, I will stop being completely dorky over here. No, I won't. I will always be dorky. But I am super stinking excited. I love it when my projects come together and it's looking good. It looks like I want it to look. And I can be proud of something. Because I am the worst when it comes to judging my artwork. I know everybody is. I know everybody is. And I have talked to multiple artists. There are friends of mine, like I said, who are brilliant artists. And I've asked them, like, how do you get over it? How do you put yourself out there? How do you decide how much your work is worth? That's a big one. Like, I know for me, some of the things are pretty easy to do, but they're worth something because I'm talented and that's why they're easy for me to do. But I don't know what my talent is worth. And another friend told me to price my stuff like for who I want to buy it. Price my stuff for who I would want to buy it. If I want the grandmother who's spoiling the children, price it for that person. Don't worry. But you know, I don't know. I have a hard time figuring out if anybody would. Maybe you guys are like this too. You look at the stuff that you've made and you're like, why would anybody buy that? They can make that. Like, that's the way I look at it, is I make something, I'm like, why would anybody want to buy something that I made knowing that I made it? It's not like it's machine made, it's handmade. So why would anybody want to buy that if they could do it on their own? Does that make sense? Hey, Ace! Right? Yep, it's Ace. Hey, Ace. Does that make sense, guys? I have no confidence in my artwork, and I look at it and like, anybody can do this. Anybody. All you gotta do is just put this, and this together. But I guess that goes the same with like cooking. Anybody can cook at home. But some of us still prefer to eat out because other people are more talented at cooking than us. I don't know. I think that makes sense. Guys, this is going to be really stinking cute. That's what I do know. So this is going to be really stinking cute. I am also thinking about putting some embellishments on it. Just because embellishments, one, that's a fun word to say. Say it. Say it. Say embellishments. It's a fun word. It's a fun word. So I got asked a couple of different questions that I figured I'll go ahead and answer. If I can remember all of them. So one of the questions that got asked was, somebody saw the jewelry that I wear. And they asked, where did I get those pieces? I didn't get them anywhere. I made them. I've been making my own jewelry for a very long time. There are a few pieces that I haven't made. Like Lydia has made me a piece of jewelry. She's actually made me 2 pieces of jewelry. And then like my little pinnacle earrings that I wear, I bought those at a sci-fi convention. Yeah, bought them at a sci-fi convention. So I don't really buy jewelry at all. Hey, Chad, how are you? So, Erin, you're saying for me to do like the money per hour that I want to be paid plus the materials times 2? Yeah, it makes me feel weird to set my prices really high as well. Like, what what is appropriate for my per hour? Would it be appropriate for me to say, okay, it's $10 an hour? Well, then that's low. That's not paying me for my talent, right? But if it's $10 an hour and say like my resin projects take me at the very least 2 to 3 hours to do everything that I need to do with them. So that right there is $30. And then the materials, that depends on the mold. Like my Domino's mold, it takes at least $30 worth of resin out the gate. That's not a charge. I'm not making anything off of that. That's just the cost of the resin to fill it. So it would be $30. So then I would have times 2. That's 60 plus another 30 for my hours. That's $90 for a domino set. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Like you said, it feels weird to have it that. Oh, Chad, you've had a long day. It's okay. It's over. And we get to relax now. All right. Look. All right. It's so cute. Now we're going to do the outside. We're going to get that done. Let's see. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I've heard the same thing, Aaron, that's what they suggest doing. And I don't know. Like you said, it feels weird to set your prices so high. You know? So if you're watching this later on and you're not a part of this live feed and you've got a suggestion on how, you know, myself and others can price things, let me know. Let me know. What has been your experience? What have you found that works? You know, we're all here to learn. Let's learn. Oh goodness, guys, it's looking cute. So now that's going away. I like the back. I don't know about you guys, but I really like that the back of the shelves are black. So I'm thinking I'm just going to dry brush the outsides of it, and I think that'll make it pop a little bit more. We're going to try that because I really like that idea. I think that's going to work. Now, I do a lot of Gothic decor because that's just my aesthetic. That's what I like. You know, I've been a spooky baby all my life. I've been a spooky baby. So I prefer this kind of stuff. And for the longest time, still am, broke. Like I see things and they're really super cute, but they're like $200. So I think me learning how to do crafts and stuff like that was just, again, out of necessity of being poor, wanting a certain thing. And so you just make it yourself. And for that reason, I am very, very, very thankful for the way I grew up. I don't have to depend on somebody else to do something for me. I'm empowered to do it myself. And I'm not worried. I can't say I'm not worried, but if we were to lose income, I think I can handle it a little bit better than if I wouldn't have had that type of upbringing. That's my opinion, at least for myself. My opinion of myself. I am not judging anybody else, y'all. You guys get to judge yourselves. See. Yeah, Aaron, I think that's why you're right. So many crafts are high on Etsy because it is like a craft. And they're confident enough to make money, yes. And I've bought things on Etsy for the price that they set, you know? Oh, yeah. Pastel goth. I can't understand that. I would like somebody to explain that to me. Pastel goth. Because that, like, me being original goth, that goes against everything that I understand about goth. Like, we're dark people. Oh, see, Chad, you knew what your shield was worth. That's what I was telling, Aaron. It's like, I don't know what my stuff is worth. Cute and creepy is beautiful. I agree. I just don't understand, like, the pink and pastels. That's the thing. But I have a different aspect of cute. Like, this is cute to me. All right. This is cute to me. But say, I don't think I even have anything. I'm looking around to see if I got anything pink. I don't think I own anything pink. I like, not gory, but I like very creepy, very dark, very macabre things. I think those are pretty. So when I see pastel goth, I'm like, I don't understand. It's cute. You did a good job, Ace. You did a good job. I understand what you're saying. I just don't understand it. That makes sense? There you go. That's a better way of saying it. Words are important, y'all. Words are important. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. The more I cover this in black paint, the happier I get, because I know what comes next, and that stage is gonna make it pop, and I am super stinking excited. Super stinking excited. So I've been listening to, because I've been doing podcasts with my kiddos, and so I started listening to more podcasts that I could possibly listen to with the kiddos. I do have some friends of ours that does a haunt podcast that we listen to. They do a haunt podcast called Haunt Weekly. Hold on. So if you're interested in what the ins and outs and hearing haunt related talk, like haunt industry kind of talk, who's preparing what are the ideas, different, see, what's one of the things that they've been talking about recently. They've talked about inclusivity in the haunt, which was really cool. How do we as haunters make sure that we are including everybody and honoring their paths? We're talking about transgender and things like that. It was a really, their last post on their last podcast that they dealt with that. It was a really good podcast, and they were talking to Paul Lanner from Haunters Against Hate. So if you guys want to watch, hear that kind of podcast, definitely check them out. But the podcast that I've been listening to for my kiddos has nothing to do with haunts. I've been listening to This American Life. Been listening to This American Life, and it's very, very interesting. I listened to an episode on coincidences, and I've got to tell this story because you guys will find it hysterical. Again, it was on This American Life, so definitely go check that out. But they were doing a show on coincidences, and this guy reached out and said he has a coincidence story to talk about. And so they talked to him. They're like, what is your coincidence? He says, well, my roommate went and took a shower, and while he was taking a shower, 35 cents fell into the tub. And we can't figure out where it came from. Like he was in the shower and it just fell into the tub. Well, that's weird. So then a couple of days pass and the guy is in the shower, right? And he says it happened to him. He all of a sudden had change fall into the tub. It's like, what's going on? And the thing that stuck out to me about this was he called himself the butt change fairy. Because the change obviously was falling from somewhere, and that's what he was thinking. Is like, what's going on? And it didn't happen, but it didn't happen just once. It happened like several times. And so finally, he was like, how is this happening? How am I getting change in the tub every time I take a shower? And it dawned on him. He would sleep in his pants, but he would take off his shirt because his apartment was hot. And the change would fall out of his pants and onto the bed and then stick onto his back. And then when he'd get up to go take a shower, it'd fall off. But good God, it was funny. And the reporter couldn't believe that was a coincidence because he was like, it happens to everybody. And she's like, no, it doesn't happen to everybody. I prove it doesn't happen to everybody. And so she started asking a bunch of people. And the theory was that it was a college boy thing because he was in college and, you know, he would sleep in his clothes. So he just figured it was a college boy thing. Come to find out, the only other person that said it happened to them was a female. She said it happened to her a couple of times, and it still happens to her because she'll forget that she's got change in her pocket, and she'll go to sleep in her bed, and it'll fall out of her pocket. But that was the funniest, like, I was not expecting that because it's like NPR, you know, so it's just really proper. So I was not expecting it. Oh, y'all, it's getting there. It's getting there. The back isn't completely dry yet. I've got my hand on the back of it, and it's not completely dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to air dry. I'm not going to air dry, but I'm going to take the heat gun and dry the top coat of this paint as best as I can. And then off camera, I will finish the back up, but I want to have at least the front view done so you guys can see before tonight's over. So here we are. Super cute. Super cute. I'm excited for the next step. So let me put this away and let's get to drying it real quick. Yeah, this is going to look nice once I get it done. I've got a couple of different colors that I want to try. One is a blue looking color.